Hey everyone, this is just going to be pretty much part 2 of the video we recorded the other day. This part mostly is just focusing on why Jonas said that he didn't re-sign Viv, and then we also touch on the Emma situation a little bit. Timestamps down below because we're going to hit on a few other things, but here's the second part. Also, with these interviews, he also talked about the tough decision to not re-sign Vivianne Midema and also leaving Arsenal. He said a few things. I guess I'll have Sara read the headline and then we'll kind of chat about that as well.
Arsenal had to choose between Caldente and Miedema, says Eidevall. Former manager says budget restrictions led to decision. The reality is we couldn't afford both. Jonas Eidevall has admitted budget restrictions forced Arsenal to choose between signing the World Cup winner Mariona Caldente and extending Vivianne Miedema's contract. Eidevall also said his decision to let Miedema leave led to such a breakdown in his relationship with the fans that the cloud over the club could be swept away only through his resignation. The Swede quit in mid-October and on Tuesday was named as the head coach of the San Diego Wave. Eidevall told Swedish newspaper Aftonbladet, "You have a limited budget that you have to deal with, and we had the opportunity to sign Mariona Caldente or extend Vivianne Miedema's contract. Then you have to choose either or. But it's not a decision that you later stand at a press conference and talk about and say, we had to choose between two players. The reality is we couldn't afford both. Then I have to make the decision about what I think is best for the club." Miedema, the Women's Super League record scorer, was allowed to depart last summer at the end of her deal. Salt was rubbed in supporters' wounds when the forward, who had intimated that she did not want to go, signed for title rivals Manchester City. Caldente joined the club from Barcelona in July. "I think that when we didn't renew Miedema's contract, my relationship at that time with the fans was hurting the team," Eidevall told Sports Illustrated. I thought leaving was the easiest quick fix for the team to be able to perform again. That was an incredibly difficult personal decision for me to walk away from. But sometimes you have to do that when it's what you think is best for the team. I'm also preaching that to any team. I always preach that you have to do what's best for the team." Oh, if that's the case, then what's best for your team is to reach out to Emma. Eidevall resigned after a string of poor performances and vocal fan discontent. Under the interim manager Reneé Slegers, Arsenal have won 10 and draw 1 of their 11 matches. "I feel that there was a cloud hanging over us," Eidevall said. "If it had just been hanging over me, then I would have been fine, no worries. But if it becomes a narrative that affects the team, then the team's performance in the autumn will not benefit."
So he talks about he talks about the choice. In his words, now this is coming from his perspective, that there was no way to sign Viv and sign Caldente at the same time. He said it was a budget concern, and he pretty much chose Mariona, which I think fans twofold. I think fans are saying, yeah, we don't like you because you chose someone over Viv. You know what I mean? And fans love Viv. And then he says once he made that decision to choose Mariona over Viv, then there was basically no turning back. That the fans basically hated him. And those aren't the words, but basically hated him. So I don't know if that was just him kind of just saying overall that he wasn't winning, or because I think if Jonas would have gone and chosen Mariona over Viv, but then he went on to win the beginning of the games at the start of the season, and if he would have won all those games, I think although the fans would have been still upset about Viv leaving, they would have said, hey, we're winning, Viv's not here, but we're still winning. But the problem was he wasn't winning, and they got rid of Viv. So that seems a little bit like he was kind of saying there's nothing he could have done after Viv left. I was never going to be in favor of the fans, but I don't think that's true. So I don't know. I think a lot of people are just frustrated with, some people think Jonas is not taking accountability for not winning, but then also, reports about his temper, if he was creating like a toxic environment, he's not taking accountability for that. Because what he's saying is after he got rid of Viv, no matter what he did, be on the fan side, but then it also seems like, oh, there's no way I could have won because the team or the fans or against me, so I couldn't win. The team couldn't win at that point. so he doesn't seem like he is taking accountability for his performance as well. Here's a comment.
All his words are about how Arsenal didn't have a budget, no sporting director. Emma Hayes is bad. She pushed him, the poor guy. Listen to him and his troubles. Everyone is to blame. He'll always find an excuse. Everyone around him is guilty, but not him. That actually sounds about right.
Yeah, a lot of what his interview, it didn't come across the most, he didn't come across the best in his interview, but I think there was so much information that he kind of threw out between the Emma Hayes thing and the Viv thing. I think there was just a lot to process. And then somebody says making these statements is someone also says making these statements is unprofessional. They are not credible because it's one side. So I don't know. I think the idea that he thinks that just because he got rid of Viv, there was no hope to have favor with supporters again. I don't know. I think that's kind of a stretch. Because if you would have gone on there and win, they still would have said, hey, we don't like it, but when we're winning, it's kind of good, Like I said, I'm still a little on his side about the Emma thing. But I know, it's just kind of messy. And hopefully the Arsenal fans at this point can say, we're not with him anymore. They're so upset about Viv leaving. And it was a known fact. Reports that he lost the locker room, not just the fans, the players. And a lot of people questioning even his coaching maneuvers. So it wasn't like, oh, hey, we lost a Viv, but that doesn't mean his coaching was great either. Now, a lot of people, even in our comment section, when it comes to San Diego Wave, said, hey, you got to give him a chance. It's somebody left in our comment section, hey, just give the guy a chance, which I do think is fair. I think I am definitely going to give him a chance. He actually, part of the interview, he said he's so looking forward to coaching in the NWSL because it's a league where any game at any point, any team can beat any other team. And he said that is exciting. So I hope it works out for the players, for San Diego. But going back to the situation with Viv and Mariona, when he says he basically chose Mariona over Viv, essentially that's what he said. I don't think the Arsenal fans are ever going to forgive him. Everyone knows what an amazing player Mariona is and how skilled she is. But for you to say you were the deciding factor pretty much that Viv was not going to be re-signed, that's tough. That's hard. Also, there was no way you could have found the budget to keep both. I also find that kind of hard. I think he even talked about this. He said it wasn't, he liked Viv because the reports were like they didn't get along. And I don't know if I have the quote in front of me, but he basically said, no, I liked her. We both had strong opinions, but I liked her because the way it comes across is you chose Viv because she was maybe outspoken or spoke her mind. He made it sound like it wasn't that, but that's how it feels. Also, it was hard for the players and hard on Viv. She's been hurt at Man City, and she's playing great. The games she has been playing great. She's talks about it's being a hard adjustment for her. And I'm sure in a perfect world she would want to. And in a perfect world, I bet Viv would like to be at Arsenal right now with Reneé Slegers as the coach, with Beth, and everything. Because was Jonas on his way out no matter what this season? If he wasn't winning, I guess he was. But it's just such a crazy situation. But we'll see. I just thought these 2 points of his interviews were just very telling and very interesting.
A little too interesting.
I did think this was funny. Part of the interview, he says, why do you think, going back to why does he think Emma pushed him and said those words? Why do you think she was so triggered in that particular match? And then here, I'll have Sara read what he said.
No idea, actually. I think there is something in the fact that I am the only one who has won many games against her Chelsea. I don't think any coach has done it, so maybe that's why. Football is a lot of emotions, and I understand that it was a match with emotions from all sides and corners.
He's basically saying, it's because I won. She couldn't handle it because no one else has won that much. So, she got emotional. It's just a very hateable answer to that question. So what does everyone think? So we'll see how this unfolds with Jonas versus Emma. Hopefully they can figure it out. So we'll see how it works out. Hopefully, for the sake of the players and sake of the national team and San Diego, they can work it out. Because that's most important. We want success for both the club and country. And then also, letting people are still saying he let Viv go because of financial reasons. But some people are even saying, although he let Viv go, they think it's a good decision. I'll have Sara read this one last comment and then we'll go.
It was a good decision, to be honest, and one which I strongly support. Miedema is the greatest and irreplaceable, but given her recent injury history, I highly doubt that she could be the same player again.
So, and some people have that opinion, getting Mariona was so huge for the club, what Mariona can do, but at the same time, it's almost like Viv got injured. She didn't have great support getting back on her feet, and then just kick her to the curb because she's not Mariona. She's not, you know what I mean? That's kind of how it feels as well. But then again, that's sport. If someone isn't injured and you have the ability to get one of the best, you got to get one of the best. So it's just, it's a crappy situation.
Sport is very hurtful.
What does everyone think? Questions or comments down below. Do you think he did the right thing about the Viv situation, or do you think it's his perspective? Like, some might say that it's coming from one side. It's his personal opinion. Who knows if it's even the truth? It's just what he's saying. Hey everyone, I am just finishing up editing the second half of the video because that was part 1 then part 2. But what does everyone think? When I was editing, I thought about a few things. As much as not re-signing Viv was hard, I was just editing this last part. Sometimes that's what a coach has to decide. Those tough, hard decisions. They have to be the one who decides it. And I kind of was thinking about that when you are the manager or the coach. I'm kind of using them interchangeably. But when you are the coach and you have to make tough decisions, sometimes it's those tough decisions that people don't want to make. So Jonas, hey, give him credit for having to make a tough decision, I guess. And then also going back, talking about Jonas being the coach of the Wave, there is reports out that Jaedyn Shaw might be signing with the North Carolina Courage. I saw this and the very first thing I had in mind, I go, wait, does it have anything to do about the Jonas situation? Because someone left in our comment section something about this is going to dissuade people from wanting to go to San Diego because they might not like the vibes. The way that organization is run overall is seemingly somewhat toxic with the whole Jill Ellis thing and everything. So that's number 1. But number 2, people might not like Jonas, especially Jaedyn is friends with Emily Fox. Jaedyn, maybe there's been talk saying, hey, this coach is kind of not the vibe. You know what I mean? So what does everyone think? Questions, comments down below. Hopefully everyone's doing well. If anyone is in the LA area, please be safe. We have been watching that on the news and we just cannot believe it. It's absolutely devastating, and just everyone stay safe. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's so devastating. We might even do another video about it or mention another video, but that's all I've been watching on the news the last few days. But questions, comments down below. What does everyone think? Yeah, we will be back soon. Have a great night. Bye.